Somebody asked me about something called Oscar. Oscar?
Oh, the Oscars.
Oh, it's a family. Some big thing happened last night that I am called Oscar.
It's called the Oscars. It's an award show. It's big to do in Hollywood.
Last night I watched Chosen.
I'm not going to let Rudy Giuliani trick me. Yo, this is an act. This is fake. I can tell it from his old man look on his face. He held that way too long. Check out the screenshot that I saw. Is this Oscar? Who's Oscar? Come on, bro. That's too stereotypical. This is actually offensive to anyone that's, I don't know, I guess above 70 years old. Because that's just right on the nose. It's like a cartoon. So the reason he's here talking about Oscar, or maybe that family called Oscar, is because, of course, the Academy Awards that just wrapped up over the past weekend. And he's talking about all these things. He went down a few rabbit holes, specifically somehow got from the Oscar to him being a religious scholar. Yeah, let's go.
And its fictionalism is, from my point of view, as a moderate biblical scholar, moderate. I say moderate, but more a religious scholar, which I am. I would say it's fair interpretation. But in any event, I was watching that, and they said there was this thing on Oscar, but nobody I knew was watching it. What was this Oscar thing?
See, he had a little side note because he was talking about this show called The Chosen. It's about the life of Christ, and then that led to the Oscar discussion, which apparently he's confused by. But you know what? He starts revealing his lie because he starts talking about things from said Oscars that he last heard about in 1956, but he heard about it last year. Watch.
So the Oscars,
is it a game?
It's an annual gathering of Hollywood.
Oh, I thought that happened like in the Dark Ages.
Nope, it's an annual gathering.
You mean things like when they had people like Bob Hope and John Wayne, like Decent Americans? And
I'm not sure you'd feel the same way about today's Hollywood celebrities.
Didn't this end when one guy physically assaulted another on the stage? Didn't they have to ban it?
That's right. That happened last year.
Because of felonious assault?
Last year.
You mean they had it again after felonious assault?
Was it Will Smith who slapped Chris Rock across the face live on the program last year? So this year ratings were actually up as viewers were waiting to see if Jimmy Kimmel, who was this year's host, would get slapped across the face.
But he's too small. Imagine that could be homicidal.
I'm not buying it, guys. Montgomery, you know what you're talking about. You're not going to pull this on me.
That was I hadn't seen the whole clip. That was so ridiculous. And he was suggesting that there was going to be a homicide this year of Jimmy Kimmel. Who was listening to this show? I did not know that he had a show until we were going to cover this story. And I didn't know that he was still calling himself America's mayor, right? Like he's really trying to capitalize on those glory days from, what was that, in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. Who was listening to this show? I feel like even the MAGA people must know that Rudy is a disgraced version of his former self. Or maybe I'm giving them too much credit. I don't know. Who is listening to this conversation? It's so weird.
Well, whoever it is, I hope they weren't fooled by it. But still, he's trying to make a point in a roundabout way. I guess he's being artistic with the help of his producer there to fill him in on the differences about the Oscars of real Americans back when it's John Wayne.
Yeah,
we see the points you're making, and they're not landing. But still,